All right, everybody, and welcome back to my channel. And today we're going to be taking a look at the Lemax Witches Tower. Let's get into it. Okay, so the Witches Tower. It was released in 2019, but please listen close. It was actually technically released as a Michael's exclusive in 2018. So if you're researching this house, you'll find that Lemax has it listed as a release year of 2019, but in the fine print, it does say that indeed it came out as an exclusive only in 2018. So, of course, it would have been, like I said, a Michael's exclusive of that year only. So let's go ahead and give you some dimensions. We have 11.69 inches high, 6.10 inches wide, and 5.12 inches in depth, or deep rather. The product type is Sights and Sounds, and it is made of a poly resin. Power, it is 4.5 volts, the standard DC adapter that we all use, and it pulls about 250 milliamps. So this will work for any of your, regular standard adapters. And as always, if you can avoid using it on a multi adapter, that would be the best. Just because again, they can burn out. Those are more for, accessory kind of stuff. I've talked about that in past videos. The adapter rather was included with mine, and it has an all-in-one power switch, so the standard kind of rocker wheel that does the power and the volume for the soundtrack. It was $99.99 new, and today I found them for a wide range. So the cheapest I found was about $70, and the top was about $165. Now, we're getting ready here to kind of already starting really the season. So that means that the houses are going to be on the rise. We've talked about that in the past. The closer it gets to, the season, the higher prices will go. So be careful. It's, always best to buy in the off season, but hey, if you have to have it, you have to have it. And look, I don't blame you. It's a beautiful piece. So let's get right into the house itself. So starting from the top, you will see the witches spinning around. Really, really cool. My only issue with it was that I didn't like the wire that they used. It's pretty much impossible to keep straight. It's always going to have some kind of creases and bends from it, whether that be from storage or trying to get it in the right direction, for your setup or the right clearance or whatever. It is semi easy to adjust. It's really kind of a thin wire, but holding its shape when you're trying to make an adjustment can take a little bit, to kind of get it right. But, with the lights down and stuff, the wire disappears anyway. So the fact that it doesn't look all that great, no big deal. The witches, though, are super cool. They're riding the brooms, and it's nice to kind of see them go around. And really, it was the perfect topper for the Witches Tower, in my opinion. I really like it. I've always enjoyed the houses that have kind of the spinny stuff on top. It's really cool. All right, so the roof is really nice as well. It's purple with kind of like the shack kind of look. It's a treehouse, so I guess treehouse theme, or similar. I shouldn't say treehouse. It's technically a tower, but it kind of feels like a treehouse to me. Anyways, moving forward, we have the scene right here in the middle. I'll get a close up for you. So you have the witch stirring the pot, or the cauldron rather, and it's a cool touch. When you think of a witch's tower, what kind of things would you see? And that's what you would see. Moving down here, we have the witch's friends or family going around. I really like that with the pumpkin and the two black cats. A great touch, great idea, and keeping really strong with the theme. And looking at it even closer, it might be a borderline tree house. I know it's called a tower, but there is, some tree branches and stuff there coming up the side. So it's like a tower / tree house. Looking at the signs here, you have the takeoff. So that would be where the witches would take off. And there's a few others as we work our way down. So we have, of course, the Witches Tower itself. Here's a little close up for you. So you have the witches coming down the stairs, and some at the bottom, and some real cool detail down here as well. We got a tombstone, a snake, and a keep out sign, because you probably don't want to hang out there all that all that much, or maybe you do. I mean, hey, look, we're into Halloween. If I saw one, I'd be interested, right? So the detail in the house, let's capture that for a second. So there is some really cool detail. The bricks were really finely, or the stones, whatever you want to call them, were really finely molded, and the tree has a lot of detail as well. The ground is cool. I wish it was a little bit bigger, but it's cool. It is tall, though. I'll tell you that. It really is tall, tall and skinny, so it can really fit into some interesting places in your village. Of course, keeping in mind about the top. So overall, there's a couple things I wish it would have had. Some better lighting would probably be the biggest thing. And I'm a huge Lemax fan, but I've always told you I'm going to play it straight with you. And that was probably what held it back the most for me. Obviously, I loved it enough to have it, but I would have thought some lighting would have got a long ways, particularly here in the middle. There's really no lights there, and that creates kind of disappearing issues at night. But nonetheless, it's really cool, and we can use our Lemax spotlights and all that kind of stuff to fill it in. And there is really only two colors on here. It's kind of like the green and this white, kind of yellowish white color, I don't know. I just think there was an opportunity there for some better lighting options. But it's still really cool, and with some spotlights, it'll go a long way. And the only other thing I wanted to note about this was the speaker for the soundtrack isn't all that loud on mine specifically. I don't know if they're all that way or just this one specifically. But it's cool. You get to hear the witches kind of talking and stuff. So we'll get that on here in a second. But overall, it's unique. I like that. It's different than a lot of the other ones out there. And, because they're witches, it can go in a lot of different places in your village. So plenty of opportunity to be creative there, whether it be in the middle of a graveyard or somewhere else in your village. There's just so many opportunities. Really, guys, this one is neat. And I think it's just that perfect one to kind of spice things up a little bit. Is it a must-have? I don't know. But is it something that would fill things in for you? Yeah, absolutely it would. So really, really cool. I love it. And I'm going to hit the lights here in a moment just so you can kind of see the soundtrack and kind of how everything works together. And you'll see that green light turn on when we're hearing from that witch on the soundtrack as well. But I don't know. It's just cool. The stairway coming down the way it wraps around. I'm kind of favoring the treehouse idea. I know they're calling it a tower, but it's somewhere between a treehouse and a tower. I don't know. But guys, I love it. I hope you have one. If you don't, be on the lookout. Be careful with the price. I thank you so much for continuing to support my channel. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you on the next one.